So every moment is a fresh moment of presence. This free from the past, the future. There may be images on the screen. Sensations, images, mind impressions, thoughts. They arise in your totality. In your complete not knowing. Like the imprint of your footsteps as you are walking on the sandy beach. The imprint returns to its absence. I awareness is effortless, without any agenda. Not trying to protect or defend. Allow the thoughts that appear to you to not trigger your attention, meaning see them for what they are, passing mind impressions. You don't need to anchor any aspect of your experience. There is no firm ground in your experience where you can claim your turf. Because you are the totality, the formlessness, the reality, not the personality. The personality appears to you for you to realize your impersonality, your non-locality. Your non-locality is your infinity, your vastness. Which is impersonal. It's the universal vastness. That does not have any personal position. Your impersonality is the impersonality of the totality. It is not a personal impersonality. It is God's impersonality. It's a non-physicality. The physicality is your interpretation. When you personify yourself, you become a target. And you become defensive and aggressive, fearful, anxious, concerned, troubled. But it is only your mind's reflection. Where the objective realm appears to you. You objectify yourself. With your conditions and your expectations, your demands from yourself, from others, from the world. And all these conditions, they rigidify themselves within your body. So your infinity and your transparency is replaced with specificity and objectivity, materiality. The defensive and offensive structures inhabit your body, your mind. You become a field of conditions and expectations and demands. An illusory self that's demanding You want things to be the way you want them. The entire illusion of personal conditions. You complain. Throw tantrums. Why isn't God listening to me? And what is this me? I've been meditating for so long, so hard. How come I'm not enlightened? What is this someone who's been meditating? What is this someone who's not enlightened? You imagine yourself to be somebody. You imagine yourself to be in this particular body mind. The living dead, which you imagine yourself to be. There are two aspects to your upsetness. One of the aspects is your insistence that you are a body mind, that you are a man, a person. Ignorance of your true nature. You identify yourself with your personality. So you create upsetness via this identification, upsetness for yourself and others. The sense of limitation, the fear of mortality, the fear of ending. You become scared and you become scary. You insist that you are this person and that things should be this way or that way. So you create waves of negativity all around you, not just within you, but all around you. Argumentative, defensive, aggressive, evasive. because of your identity, which is a false identity. You identify yourself with the past, which is images and memories, thoughts that appear to you. You identify yourself with the flesh.
Hey man, shut the fuck up.
Like Joel says, the carnal mind.
Fuck you.
The other source of upsetness is due to your transparency.
Yo, what's up? Fuck you. What's up?
Sounds like you're getting bombed, Magdi. I don't know if there's a way to keep them out.
Sounds like a kid.
Yeah.
So that's a good example of the second aspect of upsetness. Which is our transparency, our borderlessness.
Your volume is down, Magdi.
We pick up from our environment, from our situation, the energetics of others. So we experience within ourselves the global upsetness. Even events that are distant from us that we are not aware of, they have an impact. They're noticed. There is a sorrow, a sadness. We feel this sadness, we perceive it right here within our body-mind. Which is a reverberation of the wave of ignorance throughout the entire field. So one aspect of the upsetness is from within, from ignorance, from within us. And the other aspect is from the entire field. In relationship. We witness a personality that is appearing in our field. We experience that personality, although we may be free of personality, we still experience that personality. We witness it, and we feel it within us, within our body, with our mind. Which is one of the aspects of compassion, is this sensitivity, this permeability. But as consciousness, as presence, there is no retention. Like the wide open sky does not hold on to the storm, even a tornado. The wide open sky is not retaining or resisting the elements that are global elements, impersonal elements. But when you personify the impersonal, you personify yourself. You personify consciousness. And you experience the emotion, the negative emotions that come hand in hand with this personification. So you need to refer to your totality, to your borderlessness, and not to your individuality, not to your personality. Personality belongs to the body. It does not belong to you. It is just a reflection. The personality is just a reflection. A dreamlike impression. Like a wave on the surface of the ocean. like this intruder a minute ago on our Zoom meeting, that loud interference. Where is it now? What position do we take? Do we need to take any position or drop all positions? Umer, you write, awareness is effortless, but why there is resistance to hold on to it? Why there is resistance to hold on to it? You cannot hold on to that which you are. The I cannot perceive itself. Whatever you are holding on to is false. And whatever is trying to hold on, or whatever is holding on, is equally false. So the holder and that which is held onto are false. There is no holding on in reality, because reality is the totality. There are no other, nothing outside of reality, no separate thing to hold on to or to that is lacking. Only in ignorance, in the confusion about our reality, only when we mistake consciousness to be the personality, to be the body-mind object, that there is such erroneous thinking about a subject and an object. But in the reality, there isn't a subject or an object. It's just the reality, which is the peace and the wisdom, the inner tranquility of being. So seeking and resistance are a confusion. That the result of believing that consciousness exists as a body mind, that it is a body mind and it's objective and limited, and therefore should be defended and improved. You need to comprehend that awareness refers to the reality, the absolute, and that it is non-dual, not two. There are no two in reality. There aren't two awarenesses. There isn't. Awareness is not an object that belongs to a subject. There isn't that dimension of subjectivity and objectivity in awareness. There is just the reality, the absoluteness of being, of beingness, being awareness, of the I am and the knowing that is inherent to the I am. Which is not I am somebody. It is not the personality. Any questions?
Hello, Magdi.
Holger, hello, Holger.
Hello. Is it okay to say thank you?
Well, thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Magdi.
Hello, Mer.
Yeah, I don't have any specific questions for myself, but I may just ask for the sake of questioning you about your state. Do you ever feel this bliss? Bliss of the self.
So the self is it's peace, but it's a peace that it's not a passive state. So the self is not a passive state. There is using a term that Francis uses, a perfume to the self, which is undisturbable, and is an absolute aspect to the self. So bliss is a spark of peace. What underlies the bliss is the peace. Of course, peace goes hand in hand with freedom, intelligence, meaning the wisdom. The absence of the human traits of resistance and seeking, the sense of lack, the fear of death, the absence of. So I think that we make a big deal out of bliss. But it's the peace that underlies the bliss that is the real deal. And it's our natural state. The absolute realm. Where everything that is unfolding in that harmony, in the peace, within the peace, not disturbing the peace. But when we are at the local dimension, we don't perceive the totality. We perceive the current situation. the attraction or the repulsion. We experience the local forces at the local level. But at the global level, we experience our globality, our totality, which is our indisturbability. And in the contemplation of truth, the journey is more and more towards that destination, which is our true nature. We do our part, and God does the rest. So the interest and the focus is upon truth, not about the bliss. The interest is in truth. What is the reality? And the journey is that of the dropping of the false, the recognition of the false, and the disengagement from the false to cease your return to the old model of I am Umer, I am this person, I am this personality in this personal mind, to not to continue to operate from this model. And what's helpful to you is to understand that the personality, the body-mind aspect, is not that which you are, it is that which you perceive, that you experience, but not that which you are. So that understanding is an important understanding, that I refers to the infinite invisible presence of awareness, and that this reality is not personal, it is not local, non-phenomenal, and impersonal. So from that understanding, then there is a life that's unfolding with its particular situations. And each situation has within it an opportunity to practice or to, like Francis says, conduct experiments of living, perceiving, sensing, feeling as this transparent awareness, as this universal, impersonal consciousness. So in every situation, you have that opportunity And of course, to be watchful that you are not returning to the old model of what is happening to me, when will I finally get there? Why are they doing this to me? Why doesn't God love me? Which is the false self, the me in such thoughts is the illusory self.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Anna.
So I have a few questions. Yesterday, as far as I can remember, you gave the invitation whenever there's tension in the body to like release it. And so I've been exploring with that since you gave that invitation. And in the past, there was awareness that there was like discomfort, but I was distracted. But like with the invitation from yesterday, I've just been noticing how much there's contraction. And whenever I notice it, I try to like relax. So that's been helpful because then my experience is more pleasant. Mhm.
Yes, a contraction is a neutral bodily sensation with a psychological resistance. Yes, so in simply noticing the bodily sensation in its neutral aspect without adding I like it, I don't like it, when will it go away, or how can I hold on to it, etc. Without adding the false add-on, which is this, the falsehood of the me. Yes. Plus, sensation arises within the space of awareness. So within the sensation is a lot of space, and around the sensation there's a lot of space. It's all spacious, it's spacious. So there is that direction of it's available to you to recognize the spaciousness that's also available within the sensation and throughout your entire experience. So it's yes, a form of relaxation, like allowing, and without expectation, without, okay, I will allow, but make sure that I get the goodies, no. we don't know, remaining not knowing. Sort of a presence and an absence as one.
What do you mean, presence and absence as one?
So there is your availability, your totality, your openness, your spaciousness. But there is no one that is doing it or that is waiting on the other side with a begging bowl.
I'm totally taking credit.
Yes. Credit where credit is not credit to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Yeah, give Amna what belongs to Amna, and Amna gets like stars on her forehead.
Is to give to God what belongs to God. So what is a prayer? Thy will be done. Thy will be done. I'm not here with my demand, with my list of demands. Thy will be done. Which is a beautiful prayer.
It's not Amna doing it?
Huh?
So it's not Amna doing it?
No.
That's the second thing.
No, it's not a doer. There's only one doer. There's only one reality. It's not called Amna. That would be very presumptuous. No.
What does that word mean?
One reality, one doer. That would be arrogant.
What's
that would be
what arrogant means.
disregarding God. How about that? Egoic. That would be too egoic. And no, Amna is not doing anything, because Amna is that which appears to you as bodily sensations, as images, as perceptions, yes? So Amna is
You said, but could you say that again, please?
Amna is appears to you as bodily sensations, thoughts, images, memories, perceptions. So Amna is a collection of data bytes that you perceive. You perceive, right? I does not refer to the body, Amna. I refers to consciousness. So Amna does not do anything. I mean, the body-mind, it does not do anything. The instrument, the computer, does not do anything. The binoculars do not do anything. Well, whatever they do, they communicate, like your liver and your lungs and your heart and your brain, they're in communication, let's say. Okay, yes. So if you want to refer to what the body-mind Amna is doing, it's there is a functioning of the body-mind, right? So we could allow for that. But the doer, that which does, has to be a real doer, which means a reality. There's only one reality, only one true doer. That is only if you want to consider that there is such a thing as doing. So first we assume that there is such a thing as doing. Okay, if we say, all right, fine, just for the sake of conversation, let's not even look into that. Let's start with, there is such a thing as doing. So when we start from that premise that there is such a thing as doing, we're looking for the doer. The doer has to be real. And there is only one reality, which is consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that the reality of consciousness is the reality of the doer. The reality of consciousness is the reality of I. Right? You follow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the body-mind Amna, or the body-mind.
Well, the body-mind Amna seems like it's showing up differently.
Differently in what way? What do you mean by showing up differently? I don't... the body-mind Amna, you experience, you perceive the body-mind Amna right now, the sensation of your feet on the ground, for example.
Yeah, like just there's more like space and like I don't need to distract, like the body mind Amna doesn't need to distract as much as it used to. There's quietness.
Sure, good. Yeah, because the body-mind is busy taking care of the body-mind business, you know. The lungs and the belly and the brain, and it's doing, it's functioning, it's busy doing its job.
Okay. The other thing is, so there's an interest in truth, and then there's also like an interest in this body being able to do certain things, like physically.
Sure, absolutely. There is no,
but
that's fine.
Like whenever that comes up, well, it's stressful.
What?
Like whenever that interest comes up, it's stressful.
The interest in the body doing things?
Yeah, like the capabilities.
Well, I mean, you have to be realistic.
Like how it performs.
Yeah. So you have to be realistic about the body mind. You can only jump so high. You can only stay awake for so many hours. You can only reach. So you have to be realistic about the body mind, and also the conditions in which you find yourself. I don't know. I mean, whatever, every one of us, the body mind is in different situation, different condition. So there are various limitations and various degrees of freedom for the body mind given the particular situation in which that's in which it's finding itself. So you have to, as the manager of the body mind, you have to sort of navigate the path of the body mind. In other words, the body mind is not the boss. You are. It's not the body mind who decides. You decide. Your awareness. So you can examine the situation, and if you're not realistic, if you decide that you want to travel around the world and you have you don't have the funds to do so, or you don't have the freedom to do so, or you're busy at working, you're having children and so on, and then your expectation, what your demands are not realistic. So and so you can adjust your expectations, adjust what you would like to do to work out, more or less. And if it doesn't work out, then okay, well, something else is happening. So at the same time, we are, as the managers, we are not attached to a certain result. We're moving in a...
Yeah, I'm attached.
Huh? You are attached.
I'm attached, yeah, and that's why it's stressful, I think.
Yes. Well, they go hand in hand, Your attachments and your unhappiness, they go hand in hand. So the answer to your question about the unhappiness is the attachment. So what you could do is adopt the model that, okay, this is what I would like to do. And, hopefully that is what will happen. But if something else something else happens, then I will make new plans. Because we don't have, as a limited body mind, we don't have control over the situations. The body mind is limited. And so we are working within a realm of limitations. So you have to expect that, let's say 50-50. Sometimes things will occur the way you're hoping for, and sometimes it will not, like flip of a coin. So you have to be open to both possibilities that, well, it will happen, or it will not happen. Like I moved to California, you see. But we were looking, Tara and I, California. I was, okay, interesting, that would be nice. I like it, the weather and the friends, and we see Francis, and it was, yes. But it was like, okay, maybe we end up in Tennessee. Is this where you are? No, you are in, you told me that it was a complicated, what's the name again, where you are?
Indiana.
Indiana. Okay, maybe we end up in Indiana. No, you said something about Indiana.
Well, it's Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Indiana.
But maybe Indiana's,
In Indiana, okay. So it's like that, you see. Then you are relaxed. It doesn't mean you are passive. No, you're not passive. You do whatever needs to be done, but you're not freaking out, Oh, it didn't work out. I wanted to go to California, now I'm in Minnesota, No, you don't freak out. So, okay, well, maybe a lot of people around you will be freaking out, but what's important is you don't freak out.
Okay. And then my other question is related to a friend. I just wanna see what your thoughts are. So she's married and she has a 13-year-old, and she's unhappy in her marriage. She's been unhappy for many years, and it brings her a lot of like stress. And like she's been trying to be happy, but in the marriage, but she's not.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So what is the question? How to
Like
be with her?
how? Yeah, like how can I like what advice?
Mm-hmm.
Or like how can I support her? Like what advice for her, or how can I support her?
Yes, yes. You know, yeah, I mean, it's difficult to see a friend, you know, that is unhappy, living an unhappy life. So it's helpful to be with your friend as presence. As presence meaning you're not trying to save her, you're not trying to help her, you're not perceiving a problem that you need to fix for her, or that you are there as presence, just as the spaciousness of presence. That it's presence is love. It's an availability. It's not that you are being loving. It's different from being loving. It's being the availability, being the spaciousness, being the friend. The friend. Now, you have to be watchful not to perceive her as a victim, or as or miserable, living in misery, or no. That when we objectify the other, we objectify their personality and their problems, and we objectify all of that, and so we are affirming or confirming problems. That's quite different from just simply being as presence. So as presence, you are not knowing. You're not knowing, meaning you are coming as a blank slate. And so you have to acknowledge that you don't know. You acknowledge that you don't know to yourself. And if you are sharing anything with your friend, you have to acknowledge that you truly don't know. But this is your current understanding. Your current understanding, you can share your current understanding, but not with an affirmative. It's not an affirmative. It's just your current understanding. You present whatever you're presenting, subject to investigation. Like, okay, this is what it seems. This is how things seem to be to me. This is how I perceive them. Have you considered maybe this model, looking at this or looking at that? But so you have to be careful not to come from the ego, from, you know, him and me and her. I have to help her, and how am I going to help her? Am I going to succeed at helping her? Did I help her? Oh yeah, I helped her. That's great. No, all of that is not helpful.
So presence as in like just holding space.
Yes, just holding the space, being a listening, and sharing with her what's appearing to you, but being very clear to yourself and to her that You truly don't know. You truly don't.
Yeah, like yesterday, from what I remember, also, like your invitation was like not to try to figure things out. And so like I see this also here, like not trying to figure things out or fix anything.
Right. Because when we're coming from
Okay.
a position, then our perception is affected by the initial position we are coming from. And so we're not perceiving the totality or the globality or the wholeness. We're perceiving from a particular angle. And this is one of the issues often we have in interaction, that we are perceiving from our narrative, from our narrow view. And we believe that we are perceiving from intelligence, from wholeness. So this is why I'm inviting you to first acknowledge that you don't know. To yourself, we don't know. What do you know? You are not inside of her. You are not inside of her relationship with her partner. You don't know. You truly don't know. You're just listening to what she's sharing with you. And you don't know what she's going to share with you. You don't come with already an image in your head from what she told you yesterday. You don't know what happened between yesterday and today when you go see her, this evening, whatever. You don't know. So you're always coming with a fresh, I don't know. So it's like, hello, it's a fresh hello. Because in the fresh hello, there is complete freedom. There isn't a past. And in this complete freedom, there is the invitation for the freedom. You see. Now, maybe your friend, she's in her story, and so she just want to resume with her story. We don't know. So if she's resuming with her story, then you are available to her, listening freshly. Listen freshly. And sometimes we don't have much to say. We just feel, we hear, we sense the sorrow, the hurt, the narrative. It's always about me. It's always about me and him, me and her. In the end, the bottom line is there is no freedom for the personal self. Freedom is freedom from the personal self, from the belief that I am a mother, that I am a wife, that I am a husband, that I am whatever. Freedom from that. But in the realm of your relationship, you cannot speak to somebody at a different level than from the level that they are speaking to you, except if you sense that they are open, then you can take tentative steps towards them. But first you have to receive the invitation, whether you receive the invitation from your friend or from within yourself. You've sensed the invitation. You can get a sense of that invitation. Otherwise, you are there as presence. And sometimes we need to hear ourselves. We need to hear our story out loud. So, and it may be difficult for you because of the sympathy. Because in the relationship there is sympathy, there is this compassion. And so you're going to sense her hurt. You're going to sense her hurt within yourself. You're going to feel, I'm hurting because of my friend. But the hurt of your friend is not your hurt, but it becomes your hurt when you hold on to it. When you struggle with it, when you personify it. But when you're just sensing the hurt, sensing her unhappiness, and allowing the sensation to sort of dissolve in the spaciousness, in the space, then it is no longer is not retained. There is no retention of the unhappiness. But there will be an experience within your body-mind of unhappiness, but it'll be temporary. It will not be retained. But when you develop a story about your friend, and now when you're experiencing your friend, you're experiencing her story, and so you're going to experience the unhappiness that is within her story. So when you are perceiving somebody as a personality, then you will experience that personality within yourself. But when you're perceiving the other as consciousness, not as a personality, as the reality, and that reality has no personality. It is the same reality, which is your reality, the reality of consciousness.
Could you say something about, thank you. Actually, I just want to take a moment to take, could you say something about, like resting in not knowing? Because like my conditioning and my surrounding, there isn't a lot of tolerance for not knowing.
Intolerant?
Supposed to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's intolerance to not. It's like, what do you mean you don't know?
Yes.
Figure it out. Like pick a position. Like
Yes. Well, so the position we take is a position that arises to us in the moment, in the situation. So we have to perceive a situation, and the situation provides us with some information. So we don't know ahead of time. So, and sometimes we don't have enough information from the situation. So we are gathering information. We don't have the clarity yet. So how can we take a position if we don't have the clarity? Just because somebody is saying, take a position, well, I cannot take any position now. I don't know, because I don't have, it's not clear to me. How can you take a position? But if you must take a position, because if you're not going to take a position, they're going to throw you in the ocean, then take any position, so you have to get on the other side of that. You don't want to get thrown in the ocean, get eaten by the sharks or whatever. So, or, sorry, I swim with the dolphins. You may enjoy swimming with the dolphins. Sorry, Shiva, I overlooked the fun of being in the ocean. But anyways, you see what I'm saying is you don't know ahead of time. So now in terms of being not knowing, it's not a position, it's a fact. It's a fact that we don't know. I mean, we perceive this perception. We are witnessing certain thoughts, certain sensations, certain perceptions. We're hearing things, we're perceiving things. We don't know anything. In fact, we don't know anything. I mean, we're there and it starts raining. Now, one could say, now we know we need to get out of the rain because we don't have an umbrella, and I don't know, we don't want to. So we don't know until we know, right? I mean, we don't know until we know. When we know, we know. And you don't know at what time you're going to get hungry, but you will know when you start to feel your hunger. Then you will know, oh yeah, I need to feed this body, right? So in fact, it's not a position; it's a fact. It's a truth. Not knowing is a freedom, the freedom from the known. Now, freedom from the known does not mean inaction, does not mean a passivity. No, it means intelligence, meaning the proper response, which is the responsibility that we perceive in the moment towards from the situation, according to the situation that's arising for us, which speaks for itself. It directs us. But the thing that we have to be careful of is not to perceive the situation like what's in it for me. You know, we have to be careful that we don't assume that there is a separate a separate me, and that we take the position of the me, and therefore then we are looking at what's in it for me. How can I manipulate the situation for my personal good, which maintains the sense of separation and the unhappiness, because this personal interest is illusory, because at the root of this personal interest is the belief that I am a person, which is not the case as awareness. In awareness, it's pure presence, pure not knowing, and pure creativity in the moment. And the creativity, we don't know it ahead of time. We don't know what is going to be the action or the decision ahead of time. It's in the present moment that we may know. And so we take in account the situation, how we are perceiving it, and also we're taking in account our inner situation. How is it feeling? How is it appearing for us internally? So if internally you are experiencing anxiety or unhappiness or worry or upsetness, or you have to take a look at that, because if that is operating internally, it is going to also affect your decision, your activity, your behavior. So one of the yogas is that of taking a look at the initial position that from which you are perceiving. Are you perceiving from your conditions, from your personality? If you are perceiving from your personality, which are with all these conditions and all these demands and judgments and so on, then first you are maintaining this personality, which the personality is just a sense of separation and division within yourself. So you're maintaining it within yourself, and you're also acting. You're going to act from that sense of separation and that divided personality. And so you are going to also propagate and infect. You're going to infect your space, your partner, your friend, your friend. So with your friend, you have to be really watchful to come to her from your emptiness. You have to sort of be watchful that you're not coming from any sense of hurt or pain or sorrow or wanting to save her, because all of that is maintains this dynamics. So the not knowing is the availability to for consciousness to operate in the situation free from the past and free from free, just free, freely, freshly. Okay. Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you, Holger, and hello, Esther, Amna, and Charlie. Hey, Charlie, George, Zoe. Hello, Zoe. John. Holly. Hello, Holly. And Peter and Shiva. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Lovely to be with you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Thank you. Thank you.